The best things in life come in threes, like friends, dreams, and memories. Try your best to treat others as you would wish to be treated yourself, and you will find that this is the shortest way to benevolence. The feeling of compassion is the beginning of humanity. To act without clear understanding, to form habits without investigation, to follow a path all one's life without knowing where it really leads. Such is the behavior of the multitude. Human nature is disposed to do good. The great man is he who does not lose his child's heart. Human nature is good, just as water seeks low ground. There is no man who is not good, just as there is no water that does not flow downward. Friends are the siblings God never gave us. Sincerity is the way to heaven. When heaven is about to confer a great office upon you, it first exercises your mind with suffering and your sinews and bones with toil. Never lose your child's heart. He who loves others is constantly loved by them. He who respects others is constantly respected by them. Kindly words do not enter so deeply into men as a reputation for kindness. The great man does not think beforehand of his words that they may be sincere, nor of his actions that they may be resolute. He simply speaks and does what is right. Secure property in hand leads to peace in mind. The way of truth is like a great road. It is not difficult to know it. The evil is only that men will not seek it. Friendship is one mind in two bodies. The way is near, but men seek it afar. It is in easy things, but men seek for it in difficult things. The great person never loses a childlike spirit. The Tao is near and people seek it far away. So I like life and I like righteousness. If I cannot keep the two together, I will let life go and choose righteousness. He who wishes to be benevolent will not be rich. There's no greater delight than to be conscious of sincerity on self-examination. The disease of men is that they neglect their own fields and go to weed the fields of others. Never has a man who has bent himself been able to make others straight. I dislike death, however. There are some things I dislike more than death. Therefore, there are times when I will not avoid danger. If the king loves music, it is well with the land. Heaven sees as the people see. Heaven hears as the people hear. Men must be decided on what they will not do, and then they are able to act with vigor in what they ought to do. Sincerity is the way to heaven. To think how to be sincere is the way of man. A man must not be without shame, for the shame of being without shame is shamelessness indeed. In abundance, prepare for scarcity. He who respects others is respected by them. A real man is he whose goodness is a part of himself. Virtue alone is not sufficient for the exercise of government. Laws alone cannot carry themselves into practice. People are eager to comment on something when they themselves are not in the situation of doing it. The root of the kingdom is in the state. The root of the state is in the family. The root of the family is in the person of its head. When one by force subdues men, they do not submit to him in heart. They submit because their strength is not adequate to resist. Only when someone refuses to do certain things will he be capable of doing great things. If you know that a thing is unrighteous, then use all dispatch in putting an end to it. Why wait till next year? It is not difficult to govern. All one has to do is not to offend the noble families. A man must first despise himself, and then others will despise him. The path of duty lies in what is near, and men seek for it in what is remote. The work of duty lies in what is easy, and men seek for it in what is difficult. Those who follow the part of themselves which is great are great men. Those who follow the part which is little are little men. The sole concern of learning is to seek one's original heart. Integrity, wisdom, skill, intelligence, such things are forged in adversity. Truth uttered before its time is dangerous. He who attends to his greater self becomes a great man, and he who attends to his smaller self becomes a small man. The way of learning is none other than finding the lost mind. Mankind fears an evil man, but heaven does not. The myriad things are complete in us. There is no greater joy than to reflect on ourselves and become sincere. If you let people follow their feelings, they will be able to do good. This is what is meant by saying that human nature is good. The way is one and only one. The way is close at hand, but men seek it afar. All things are already complete in us. There is no greater delight than to be conscious of right within us. If one strives to treat others as he would be treated by them, he shall not fail to come near the perfect life. Never has there been one possessed of complete sincerity who did not move others. Never has there been one who had not sincerity who was able to move others. Benevolence is one of the distinguishing characters of man. All things are complete within ourselves. The ways are two, love and want of love, that is all. Only those who develop their minds and spirits to the utmost can serve heaven and fulfill their own destinies. A small country cannot contend with the great, the few cannot contend with the many, the weak cannot contend with the strong. One who believes all of a book would be better off without books. Is it only the mouth and belly which are injured by hunger and thirst? Men's minds are also injured by them. Evil exists to glorify the good. Evil is negative good. Every duty is a charge, but the charge of oneself is the root of all others. The tendency of our nature to good is like the tendency of water to flow downwards. There are none but have this tendency to good, just as all water flows downward. The poor attend to their own virtue in solitude. Listen to a man's words and look at the pupil of his eye. How can a man conceal his character? If the prince of a state love benevolence, he will have no opponent in all the empire. The way lies at hand, yet it is sought afar off. The thing lies in the easy, yet it is sought in the difficult. Friendship with a man is friendship with his virtue, and does not admit of assumptions of superiority. There is a power in everything. It is the job of the artist to determine it and express it. Let not a man do what his sense of right bids him not to do, nor desire what it forbids him to desire. This is sufficient. The skillful artist will not alter his measures for the sake of a stupid workman. The tendency of man's nature to good is like the tendency of water to flow downward. He who exerts his mind to the utmost knows his nature. To feed men and not to love them is to treat them as if they were barnyard cattle. The regular path of virtue is to be pursued without any bend and from no view to emolument. The people turn in allegiance to humanity as surely as water flows downward or as a wild animal takes cover in the wilderness. All people have the common desire to be elevated in honor, but all people have something still more elevated in themselves without knowing it. Incessant falls teach men to reform, and distress rouses their strength. Life springs from calamity, and death from ease. Where it is permissible both to die and not to die, it is an abuse of valor to die. To lay hold of the mean without taking into account the occasion is like grasping one thing only. Friendship is one mind in two bodies. Treat others as you would be treated. Devote yourself to that, for there's no more direct approach to humanity. Getting something done is like digging a well. You can dig a well 70 feet deep, but if you don't hit water, it's just an abandoned well. There's only one way to know if people are good or evil. Look at the choices they make. All beneath heaven is rooted in nation. Nation is rooted in family, and family is rooted in self. For nurturing the mind, there's nothing like paring your desires away to a very few. People are distressed by their inability to do it. The problem, however, is simply that they don't do it. When men are subdued by force, they do not submit in their minds, but only because their strength is inadequate. When men are subdued by power in personality, they are pleased to their very heart's core and do really submit. Words that defy reality are ominous, and it's ominous reality that confronts those who would obscure the wise and worthy. Don't do what should not be done, and don't desire what should not be desired. Abide by this one precept, and everything else will follow. Make your learning abundant and speak of it with precision, then you will speak of essentials. Words that speak of things close at hand and carry far-reaching implications. Those are the good words. There are things a person wants more than life, and there are also things he or she loathes more than death. To say anything about the nature of things, you must attend to the facts in their original form. The trouble with knowledge is that it keeps chiseling things away. I understand what lies hidden beneath beguiling words. I understand the trap beneath extravagant words. I understand the deceit beneath depraved words, and I understand the weariness beneath evasive words. All tongues savor the same flavors, all ears hear the same music, and all eyes see the same beauty. Which quote did you like the most? Share your opinion in the comments. One day, you will regret that you did not hear these quotes earlier. Do not lose the opportunity. Watch our next video and subscribe.